Welcome back to Ghosted, where we turn the quiet of grief into stories worth shouting. Today I'm here with...
I'm Becky Feigloss. I'm on your pod today. I'm thrilled. I'm so thrilled.
Becky, Rebecca, who ghosted you?
Oh, bitch, everybody. Both of my parents, my mom when I was 13, my dad totally out of the blue when I was 30.
How dare you?
Yeah, rude. So rude of them.
Come on.
Really? Like the mom, when my dad
Wasn't
died.
enough?
It wasn't enough. Literally, one of the things, this is so sad, but I would only say it here. When we had my dad's funeral, it was day one of COVID lockdown that he died too, because again, like that wasn't
You're
enough.
lying.
Totally. No, it was March 14th, 2020. I was literally on my way to work because I worked in state government. I was called in to work that day to help shut down schools across the state. I called my dad on the way in to work and I was like, hey, Daddy, guess what I'm doing? How crazy is this? This COVID thing's real, huh? And then he was like, wow, I'm so proud of you. That's amazing. Like, go do amazing work. I love you. And then 2 hours later, he was dead. I got the call that we didn't know it was blood clots, but got the call that he had totally randomly died.
Who
at
found
home.
him?
My dad remarried after my mom died, and so his wife/widow now. And so she called me while I was at work.
Wait,
And
did you have a
yeah,
funeral?
girl. So this is what I was going to tell you. So it was day one of COVID lockdown that dad died. This was the first COVID era funeral, like COVID era interaction at the funeral home, because there were no protocols, there were no procedures yet. And I very vividly remember going to the funeral home that day. Again, I was like at work in the morning, and by the afternoon I was in a funeral home figuring out what we were doing with my dad's body. Like it was crazy. But they tried to shake my hand at the funeral home and I was like, I don't think we should shake hands. And they were like, oh. And I was like, yeah, like I work in public health. Like, let's not shake hands. But that was before we knew about masks. That was before any of that, way before vaccines. At the funeral, this is full circle. My brother and I and my dad's wife and a couple of members of her family, we were all allowed to gather. It was like 5, 6 people. And I think I will forever be angry about that we didn't get to have a proper funeral for my dad.
Yeah.
He was a physician at Duke. He was very well known in the community. The number of his patients and his patients' kids and families who reached out to me after his death, of just being like, he was an icon. He was a doctor at Duke for 50 years, literally.
No way.
So to not have a funeral for him infuriates me to this day. Like I'm still angry about it. But that day, I just remember standing there with my brother who had driven down from Canada because he lives in Montreal.
And you didn't know about flying.
It was right before the border closed too, so we made it back in time. Yeah. He and I was hugging him and I was just like, I can't believe it's both of them. Like we were looking at our mom's headstone and our dad was just buried next to her. And I literally was like, I can't believe it's both of them. How is it both of them? And Daniel was like, it's both of them. And it was so surreal. Like that's not supposed to happen when you're 30 at all. Like what the hell? It just didn't compute. Anyway, I've been ghosted by all the people. Rude.
Wait, would you have like a 5, 6 year later funeral or celebration for your dad? Like, have you thought about that?
So
he seems like a man who had a lot of impact on a lot of people.
Yeah, here's what's interesting. I literally just posted a TikTok a few days ago because I went to a memorial service for my friend's dad who just died. And I posted on TikTok because I was like, God, I'm filled with such rage every time I go to someone else's funeral.
Fair.
And I'm like,
Anger's
damn it. Like,
very fair emotion here.
I wish I wasn't. I wish I wasn't angry about it. But like, I feel like anybody who experienced the death of a loved one during the COVID era, whether they died of COVID or not, we don't know. Honestly, if my dad died of COVID, he could have had COVID months before we knew what COVID was, and maybe
Right.
blood clots were related to a COVID diagnosis that never got to happen. Anyway, whether your person died of COVID or not, if you lost someone during 2020, you had to navigate probably not having all of the funeral memorial stuff that you would have wanted. No one was there to hug me, right? Like people couldn't come hug me. And
Yeah.
that is not how grief is supposed to be. It is supposed to be in community. And so now when I go to a funeral, a normal fucking funeral, I am angry still now, almost 6 years later, that I'm like, we didn't get to do this for my dad and he deserved it. We had a Zoom memorial a year later. In
Yep.
Jewish tradition, we call it the unveiling a year after the burial. And even when he first died, I had said, like, we'll do an in-person unveiling. It'll be great. Not ever thinking that it would still be shut down. So, there were like 120 people on the Zoom. It's still not the same.
No.
And yeah, I could put in the energy and host a gathering now, but like his body's already in the ground. Like it's already happened, right? Like the headstone's already there. And I would argue that all of my work with Grieve Leave, which we could talk more about, comes from that place of rage. Like it comes from the fact that I didn't have anywhere to put my grief when my dad died. And I was like, I need somewhere to put all this energy and I need some way to honor him. And I need some way to honor like the grief that has surfaced for my mom. And I don't want to have a memorial now. It just wouldn't be the same. And his relatives have died. Like his cousins have died since then too. So it's like, who would come? I guess people locally, but anyway, that was a really long answer to your question. Sorry.
No. I mean, grief is so lonely no matter how many people you have. So to your point, community is so beautiful. Like that's why you started Grieve Leave, right? Like that's why I want to sort of start what I'm doing. And I'm
so excited for you.
I can't imagine though, like truly, like there's nothing you can say to someone who's grieving. There are no words that'll ever be enough. And sometimes a hug is all that you can give. And so the fact that that was taken away from you, I can't imagine the extra layers of like grief and loneliness.
Oh my God. It was awful. It was literally awful. My best friend, I remember she lived like less than a mile away. And I remember us talking on the phone that night. And I remember her saying like, I would just come over. Like, I'm sorry, I can't just come over. Because everyone was in complete lockdown isolation. She's like, I'm so sorry. I want to be there with you. And everyone was too scared. Like I wasn't asking her to come over and I wasn't like wishing she was. I was like, this is awful, you know? And that also was part of what led to the downfall of my marriage is like.
I was going to ask, were you with your husband when your dad died?
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about it?
Oh my God, totally. My divorce comes with all of its own grief, Emma, and it is all like intermingled with my dad's death. I think it's pretty common for people to break up or get divorced after a significant loss in one partner's life. And I don't blame anybody that gets divorced after a death, whether it is a death of your child, whether it is a death of a family member, whether it is like there are stats on women who get diagnosed with cancer, like how likely their partners are to leave them. Like there are a lot of stats like that. And
being a woman is so fun, ain't it?
Dude. But I have a lot more empathy now for relationships that fracture after grief because grief makes you rethink the way that you connect with people, whether they are your friends, whether they are your romantic partners. And things that were a problem before the loss are just magnified, right? They're not getting better. And things that maybe you didn't even know were problems before, maybe they're problems now because of the loss. I mean, I was in lockdown with my husband at the time. Between the two of us, we had 4 dead parents. He had also lost his parents.
Perfect.
Yep. And I was just face to face every day with what wasn't working in our relationship. And I was finally, I would say, brave enough a year after my dad's death, a year and a few months after my dad's death, to say, like, this marriage is not what I want. This relationship is not what I want. And honestly, but for my dad's death, I don't know if I would have gotten divorced. I think eventually I just didn't see it as an option. It was like so like blinders on that I was like, no, I committed to this marriage. I need to stay in this marriage.
I mean, people make you feel like it's a failure. Like
I would
the
have
word
never.
brave is the only word to describe it as, especially at 32, right? Like you're meant to like live this path, and then if you get divorced, it's a failure, and your life is turned upside down.
And I was such an achiever, like type A annoying person that I would never admit that I like failed at something, right? Or go back on a promise. But after dad died, I was 30 with two dead parents. And I was like, oh, no one is going to like save me from the situation I'm in. No one is going to make this better. No one is going to make my life aligned to my values and what I want, except for me. I have to do that. And in that way, the deaths of both of my parents was very freeing for me and
Beautiful.
made me kind of reset and say, no, this marriage is not what I want. It is not making me happy. It is not good enough. I do not think it is going to get good enough. And so I ended it. And I don't know if that would have happened without my dad going too.
How brave. Isn't it wild though, thinking about like your life now and the life that you've built that is so beautiful and impacts so many others? Like, unfortunately, the worst thing in your life had to happen. Like, I
Totally.
struggled with that so much when I was growing up, because my whole life was about like giving back. Like, I'm in healthcare. I did so much volunteering, and I'm like, but I am who I am because he died. And like, how can I be happy with who I am and the life that I've built, because that came with my dad dying? And it feels like it's a weird feeling, and I think now I'm in a good place. But even you, like, you have built this community, Grieve Leave, you left your shitty husband, like all of that because he died. But like, you want your dad back.
Oh my God. But like because I lost my mom so young, I was very like achievement, give back focused for my entire life in ways that I didn't recognize until much later, because I think I was trying to outrun that feeling of an absent parent. And I think I was trying to make up for how awful I felt that I couldn't be there more for my mom. And I mean, I was a fucking kid, right? But like, I had a lot of guilt about not spending more time with her, or like not somehow like getting a ride to visit her in the nursing home more often, right? Like things that don't make logical sense.
Right.
That I was a child. Like anyway.
We have to be a lot more forgiving to our younger selves.
I've learned, so my therapist has taught me. But my dad's death made me realize like, oh, I can't, like my worthiness, my sense of worth was so caught up in how I produced things, like how I worked, how I served other people, that I didn't feel my own sense of worth, my own sense of self-worth, until like I had to learn that skill after my dad's death and after my divorce. It was really, my divorce came from me being like, oh, my sense of self-worth has to be intrinsic to me. There's no parent here to hold that for me. I have to believe I'm worth something, whatever I'm producing, whatever work I'm doing or not doing. And it was because of that sense of self-worth I developed. Then I felt brave enough to leave my marriage. But like the cascading dominoes that had to happen, to your point, are crazy. And in so many ways, I'm so grateful for all of this, right? Like I feel the most aligned that I ever have in my entire life.
Makes me so happy.
Thanks, Emma.
Was your mom sick?
Yeah, she died of glioblastoma, so brain cancer. She was diagnosed when I was 5. Sucks.
Wait, she lived that long?
She lived for 8 years. At the time she died, she had the record in the U.S., is my understanding, of the longest living person.
Sorry for my literal jaw on the floor, but like I had worked at like Sloan Kettering.
You know.
I know that's like, if you get a 1.5 years 2 years, you're lucky.
So my
Wow.
dad was a physician at Duke. My mom was the director
Wow.
of the Duke
What a
Medical Center
stubborn
Library.
woman.
My dad used to say, like, well, she lived so long, she had so many brain cells that they couldn't die. Like, she was so
Wait,
smart until
I love that.
it's just like it couldn't get her. No, she was in every experimental treatment. I mean, she was 45 when she was diagnosed. She had two young
She also
children.
worked for Duke Med?
Yeah, she was the head of the medical center library. So I had a very Duke heavy family.
Which I know you're a
And
big Duke. Unfortunately, I went
Duke
to
shit.
UConn though, so like our
that's fine.
basketball rivalry.
it's like so much respect. So much respect.
Honestly, correct.
And it's like that's not like a UNC, you know what I mean? Like I
It's
hate
different.
UNC.
It's different.
This is like, yes, I absolutely respect y'all so much. Mom and dad were in the Duke community. And so mom got in these like early experimental treatments with like monoclonal antibodies and like radioactive thingies. I don't have the right words here, but that were like injected into her brain. And so she lived for a long time. Like she was cured, right, of the glioblastoma. But what they learned from her treatment were the impacts on her brain of the treatment. And so her brain kind of like dissolved basically from the radiation treatment. And they learned from her what not to do for other people. So yay, thanks mom. Other people were helped by this, but what that meant for us is we watched as children the slow deterioration of mom, like totally unable to parent, unable to hold a conversation, in a nursing home full time.
Really?
And in this it was just very scary. Like my childhood was very scary when you have a parent who is physically present but mentally, cognitively not able to parent. And I mean, I have memories of her still driving when she shouldn't have been driving and us getting into like really scary situations on the road. And she lived for 8 years, but it was not, quality of life was not good.
Yeah.
And in many ways, I'm like, God, dad going so quick is devastating, but like all of my memories with him are wonderful, except like one awful one of seeing him at home after he died.
You saw
And
him?
I chose to.
Mm.
This is
What
also an
made you
interesting
choose
question.
that?
Yeah. So, this is interesting. So, when my dad died, he was at home, which is totally where he would have wanted to go in the manner that he did. Like quick, probably no suffering. Like he fell and then was basically out. And my dad's wife had found him. My ex-husband had come over. He was closer than I was physically at the time, so he made it to the house faster than I did. And in my mind, I was like, so they've both like seen my dad's body, and I need to see it too. Like I need to see that this is real and this is true and this has happened. And like if I close my eyes right now, I can see his body, and that is not something that I wish. That's not a vision I wish I had. And yet I am also glad that I did, because I could see his body and be like, that's not my dad. Like that's not, I immediately understood the concept of like a soul and the concept of what makes a person, because I had that moment of looking at his body and being like, no. I'm glad I have seen this, and dad is like with me now, and he is in the air and he is in the energy of all of us. That's not my dad. And that makes me sound very woo-woo spiritual, and I swear to God I'm not. But like maybe a little. I never got that with my mom. We were kids, and so that was my dad's decision.
Oh,
He
you
knew,
never saw her.
We, I think dad had to make these calls, right? Like he made the call. I was 13. My brother was 15. He knew she was in her like final kind of moments. And I remember being confused as a kid, like why we weren't going to like be with her at the very, very end. But it was Dad's choice not to be. We never really talked about it. I never got to ask him like why he made that choice. He made the same choice with his mom when she was dying, that we got there, made it. She was still alive. We said goodbye to her in the hospital, and then we left. We didn't stay. My dad did not want to be there when his wife was dying or when his mom was dying. And therefore, we weren't there either. And I think we, meaning me and my brother, it's a choice, right? Like if you don't want that memory, if you don't want to see it, I can't blame you. Like that is your call. I wanted to see my dad's body. I wanted that moment of processing. And then fast forward a year and a half later, 2 years later, my grandma died during my year off. I ended up quitting my job, started doing a year of grief leave. That's kind of how this all started. In that year off that I took, of course, my grandma died, my last living grandparent. And she was 98. And my brother had called me and he was like, it's time, like she's gonna go. And I started driving up to Montreal because I wanted to be there for her final moments. It was so fucking important to me to be there, and I missed it. I missed it by like 2 hours.
Yeah.
But I chose not to view her body because it wasn't as important to me.
Interesting.
That I was like, I didn't need that closure for her. Like I had spent so much time with her. I wanted to be there though when she was dying, and I have some guilt about that.
You shouldn't hold on to that. It is interesting, like the decisions that our parents made for us when we were younger. Like I had a lot of anger. I also think it was hard for me because my brother's 7 years older, so he could understand cancer and like the things that my dad was going through in a way that I couldn't. And I was with my dad when he took his last breath, and like I will forever be thankful for my mom. I was actually at camp, and camp was ending in 2 days, and she like knew. So and we had kind of gone back and forth that whole summer. Like he sat us down and was like, I'm gonna die. But she brought us home 2 days before, and he had a hospice bed next to us, and the three of us were in their bed. And so like we woke up to him dying, which obviously is traumatic. And I don't like say that often, but like I think that is like it's a beautiful thing in a weird way. But I always got angry at my mom after the fact of like, you didn't tell me things. Like I didn't know really what was going on. And she was like, but that was your father's choice. Like even though he's dying, he is a parent to protect his kids. And she was like, one day you'll understand. And I think I get it more now. But like I hate when people lie. And I think it really.
But you were a child. It's so hard, right? Like you were a kid.
So crazy. There's
so also
crazy.
There's no right answer, right?
No,
like
it's all wrong.
It all fucking sucks. Like we're all dealt a shit hand. I was, in retrospect, like I really do think about what I would have done if I were my dad, and like would I have had us with our mom as she was dying? I think I would. But like I don't hold it against him that he didn't. I don't hold it against him at all.
No, he did what he thought was right.
Yeah.
And also, like, you learn as you get older, they're doing it for the first time, too.
Oh, my God, right? It's his first time with a dead wife himself, you know? But also, he was a physician, so he had... Maybe it's also this, too. Like, he had seen death, right? Like, he had done emergency room rotations, like, in studying it. Like, it's not that... It was more familiar to him. And I think my guess would be if Dad were sitting right here, he'd be like, you didn't need to see that shit. I think that's exactly what he would have said. You didn't need to see that shit. That's not the vibe.
Wait, what type of physician was he?
Endocrinology. So he specialized in caring for people with type 2 diabetes.
Wow.
So
how do you get into that?
Oh my God, Daddy was diabetic.
Wow.
I am not diabetic. Yay. I did not. So far, so good. Knock on wood. No, my dad was a really fascinating person, Emma. He actually studied mineralogy and geology. That was his like passion in life. And I could go like grab some mineral. I have one like right here that hold on.
Wait, I need to see. Your dad was a real idiot, huh?
Oh, he like the level of nerd so high. So I like have just like anyway, Dad he collected minerals from the time he was 5 years old and became ultimately a world-renowned mineralogist. But he Yes, I swear to God. We donated his mineral collection to Harvard when he died. That was a whole other thing of like, what do you do with the stuff of your person that was like their life's fucking
Wait,
work
could
or
I go
things that
see
were
his
important?
mineral
You could,
collection?
yeah, you could go right now. Dad's minerals are all there. They have many of them in the back. Some should be out on display. Um, and yeah, but when Dad was in college at McGill, where he met my mom, he was studying geology and was like, I love rocks. This is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. And then he was like out in the field and was like, I fucking hate this shit. Like, I don't want to be outside. I just want to like look at my rocks inside. And like, it just also, my dad was absolutely on the spectrum. Like, in retrospect,
I was gonna say, his obsession with rocks. Come on.
it was the cutest thing, like his lifelong obsession. He discovered 7 new mineral species. He had a mineral named after him called fine glossite. You could just look it up. Yeah. So anyway, when Dad,
Fascinating individual.
he literally in college was like, I don't think I actually want to study geology anymore. I want mineralogy to be my hobby. I guess I should get a real job. Let me be a doctor.
Yeah, you know, just casual.
So yeah, so he basically started all over again and like his junior year and then became a doctor.
I
Yeah.
love your dad.
Oh my God, he was the shit. He and my mom were like just brilliant, witty, snarky, amazingly kind, genuine, nerdy, wonderful people.
So you.
Like, oh my God, stop. My mom was 5'10". Stunner. She had
Oh,
my
yeah.
coloring, dark hair, but bright blue eyes. So she was like,
Bitch. That's
she
like
modeled in
me.
college. Asshole. What an asshole.
What a bitch.
She was
Wait, are you
literal
Canadian
perfection.
that they met at McGill?
So my mom was Canadian. I'm a dual citizen.
So you can escape at any time?
I can get on out. I have a place in Montreal, so I spend my summers there. And my brother and my sister-in-law are there, and my nephew, who's about to be a year old. So it's very important to me to spend a good amount of time in Canada. And
Yeah.
but that's my mom's hood.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
God, wait, your dad was such a nerd and I'm obsessed with him.
Oh my God. It is hilarious to like, I don't know. I have so many things I could tell you about my parents, but it's like, I'm thinking about them ghosting me, and I'm actually like thinking back. I knew you were going to obviously ask me who ghosted me. But like, I feel like my dad ghosted me. I don't actually feel like my mom ghosted me because it's so
Tell me more.
normal. But it's normal to me that my mom is dead. That's very normal. That is,
Interesting.
it happened so long ago. It's just like baked into my life that my mom was sick and dying and then dead, right? Like that is my
So
story.
interesting.
I don't feel like she ghosted me at all. I feel like she was never even fucking there. And
Do you
yeah.
feel her grief in the same way as you feel your dad's?
I felt like I started to actually grieve for my mom for the first time, like really grieve her at 2 different points in my life. One was when I was getting married because I was like, oh, everyone else has a mom to like help them with wedding stuff. And like, yeah, I don't have that. And it was just like the assumptions in the wedding industry that you have a mother are constant. And it was a constant reminder that I did not. And I was like, fuck, this is going to keep happening
weddings
to me.
suck.
Dude. I imagine if I choose to have children, and even in the like weighing that decision, I continue to grieve my mom in those moments too, of like these very typically like feminine, maternally moments. I grieve her. The second time that I really felt this big grief for my mom was when my dad died. Whew. Because it was like he carried her. And when he was gone, it's like the person that knew her best was gone. And then when my grandma died, it was like there's no one left who truly understood who my mom was. My mom had a kind of complicated relationship with her mother. So I felt that a little bit less when her mom died. It was more when my dad died that I was like, oh my God, like her person is gone.
Yeah.
And I felt like I got to know both of my parents so much better after they died. I was like reading letters they had written to each other that I found and looking at so many pictures. And yeah, it's different. The grief is different.
How do you carry each of their grief day to day?
My grief for my dad, it's still like it doesn't compute that my dad is dead. Like it doesn't make sense to me
Right.
that like I carry my grief for my dad in moments of literally being like, oh, I just the other day when I was walking home from the gym, I literally, Emma, I was like, oh, I should call dad. Like I had a moment of just being like, oh, I would love to catch up with him. And like that's one way that I carry the grief is it's like fresh. It's still weird. It is incongruous that he is gone. He ghosted me, that asshole. What a dick. Hate him. It's just like it's different. For my mom, my grief for her, it's like I carry it in a different way because it's just baked into my existence, right? Like I think about her truly. This makes it sound like so frivolous, but it's not. Like I think about her basically every time I choose my outfit for the day, or if I'm gonna like wear a piece of her jewelry, or like I know she would have loved my outfit today. It's really chic. I really like it. It's like a tea-length dress and like cute buttons. And when I was putting it on, I was like, Mom would have totally rocked this outfit. I felt very chic today. But so it's like I try to carry her with me physically. Like I try to honor her physically because I frankly like I didn't really know her as a person. I've only known who she was through other people. Right. So like right now I can literally close my eyes and imagine my dad's laugh or imagine his mannerisms or imagine whatever it is. I don't have that with my mom. Like I don't know what our relationship would have been like. So my grief, it's not like it doesn't feel as incongruous. It's not like something got taken away from me. It's that I never had it at all. So it's almost like I try to bring her in. Like I try to think about her, you know?
Right. She's just a kind of present where your dad, it's like he's the person you want to call, want to speak to.
Totally. It
hits you in a different way because you're like, I had the best guy.
God, he literally was the best. Oh my God.
I'll meet him in another life. That's what I said.
Oh God. It's so funny. We were talking about me not thinking I'm spiritual, but like maybe being a little spiritual.
Feeling kind of a little spiritual.
Just like a little. I truly have believed my entire life though that my mom has been like watching out for me. Like my car has spun out on crowded highways twice, 2 different occasions, and I did not die and did not even hit another car. And both times I was like, thanks, mama. Like, thanks for me not being dead again. That is, but like, I know that is intellectually like ridiculous, but I really do think that, you know, you do.
The exact same thoughts. Let myself like believe that he's, and like whether or not it's real, like it brings me peace.
Yeah, who cares if it's real? Like what's real? You know, like it's real. Nothing's real. I've never been to a medium. I've been like,
are you anti?
I'm agnostic. Like I'm like whatever makes you feel good, cool.
Same.
But
I'm not a religious person at all. I think because he died so young, I was like, there's no God. Like who would do this? So I find like meaning in other ways.
It's beautiful. I love that. My connection with my religion changed when my dad died because I didn't realize it. My childhood temple is where I've gone since, you know, it's where my parents were, and I now serve on the board of my childhood temple, which is very full circle and amazing. But the grief that I felt going back into the synagogue after my dad died was odd. That I was like, oh, my relationship with Judaism is entirely different now that dad's gone.
Interesting.
It took me a little while to figure out like, so what do I care about? Right? Like, what is this to me? And now it's like, going to celebrate the holidays or like serving on the board or serving my community through my synagogue is another way that I connect with my father in my mind. It's like, you know, like I feel like I'm doing something that he and I like spent time doing together, and I'm honoring something that I know was important to him and his family. And I truly do feel like I honor my grief for my dad with my Judaism.
I love
now.
that.
But I'm not like a super, like, I don't keep kosher.
Yeah.
I'm
I think
reformed. I'm
Judaism's
very,
nice like that because I think there's so many ways. Like I celebrate the holidays and like culturally,
yeah.
But my dad was like an usher at our like synagogue growing up, like when we would go to temple.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. So he was
Yeah.
involved.
He was involved. Girl, I
Oh my
was
God, we
bar
love.
mitzvah, all of
Let's
it.
go. Baruch atah Adonai. Let's go. Let's
Yeah,
go. My mom died a month after my bat mitzvah, and she was so fucking sick that she did not come to my bat mitzvah. She was not physically there.
Wow.
And that was a devastating moment of me
Yeah.
literally figuring out, like, how do I remember asking my rabbi and my dad, like, when I'm giving my speech, when I'm like talking and I thank my parents, like I'm going to thank my dad and my mom separately, where do I look while I'm thanking my mom? I remember asking that
Wow.
question. Yeah.
What did they say?
They were like, you can look up, you can look at your dad. Like, but I remember being like, this is also nuance too of like, what's the right way to look when you're grieving? Like, what's the right way to look when other people are watching you? Is this right? Is this sad enough? And that was something I really wrestled with. And I got like, people were always watching me, I felt like. And it was me losing a pair young. I wonder if you felt this way. Like, people watch you. They want to know how you're doing. And so I wanted to always look put together and like I was doing great. And I didn't want people to feel sorry for me. I didn't want people to feel sad. And so I was very focused on what my appearance was like anytime anything involving my mom, happened.
Did kids your age understand what was going on?
I don't know. My teacher certainly knew. I mean, I had a lot of friends. I tried to keep my mom's illness like very out of the picture and very out of my daily life. Like if you go back, I could like grab diaries and show you pages that are like, I love Jay, guy that I had a huge crush on because he was my height and that was the only thing that needed to be true. I was taller than everyone. I love Jay. Jay's the best. Jay's so cute. Next page. I live a double life where my home is so awful and every time I come home, mom is really scary. Next page. Like, I love Jay, but he was so rude today. Next page. Like that was
the brain of a child.
Dude. So I did not bring my mom's illness like into the school space, into the friend space at all. And I always went to my friends' houses to play. Like I got very good at my social calendar because I always wanted to get out of my house and go somewhere else and go socialize and go be elsewhere. So I think maybe the parents, I imagine people knew, but it like wasn't something that I wanted to talk about at all.
That's so interesting. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wait,
I wasn't the only one though. There was one, my friend Beth, shout out to Beth. We love Beth.
We love Beth. Hey, Beth.
Beth's dad died when she was like 3. And so she, like, I always just felt, Beth knows I feel this way. I've told her as adults, but like, she just made me feel a little more normal at my school that like, I was not the only one. Also, Beth existed. Like, we all knew Beth's dad died. And I was one of 2, at my school when my mom did die. But even before then, I felt just like a little safer just knowing she also existed.
Yeah, I think that especially, at any point in your life, but especially as a child, like you feel so different.
Totally.
And it's nothing that you did to get to this place, but it's very, very, I was actually having this conversation yesterday, and because my dad died when I was 9, everyone in the town of Needham knew. Like, I didn't have to tell anyone. It was just like a thing. And it was actually a lot harder for me when I went to college and then had to tell every single person that I never had experienced that because I just grew up where everyone knew. So it was just like how you kind of say, like, it's a part of your identity. Like,
what's the disclosure? Yeah.
Is my identity. And so I spent nearly 10 years of my life like that. Like, and then I go to college and every single person has to find out. And that sucked.
It's exhausting.
And it's like,
exhausting.
The reaction sucks. Why do we not teach people how to react appropriately? Like, why do I end up apologizing for you because I made you uncomfortable over something that I
Don't apologize. Well, stop fucking apologizing when you tell
I've
people.
learned now. I've learned now.
Like that's part of it. It's like God, this so resonates. Like choosing when to tell people that I had a dead mom in college, especially like with boyfriends or with friends that I was meeting. Dude, navigating dating with 2 dead parents post divorce was really interesting because it's like, at what point do you tell someone that? And what became helpful for me, I experimented with literally putting it in my like Hinge bio or in like a Hinge prompt or in my Bumble bio.
That's so funny.
2 dead parents, divorced.
Cute girly things.
It's so normal, I swear. But what became easier was when I was sharing my story through Grieve Leave, like through the website, through the blog, through Instagram, so that I would just put my handle in my profile, and guys who were, I think, serious enough to like go look, they would be shocked on their own. Like I wouldn't have to disclose it. And so they would come into a DM situation or a date or whatever and just be like, I read about your parents and, you know, I'm so sorry. And I know you're getting divorced and, you know, congratulations or whatever. It just made it a lot easier. Yeah.
I like that. Wait, should we talk about Grieve Leaves?
Yeah, let's talk about Grieve Leave. So, yeah, what do you want to know about Grieve Leave? I can tell you whatever you want to. Let's chat about it.
Please. I guess like how it started, especially for anyone who's listening who like doesn't know and kind of where you want to take it now and sort of also how it's like changed your own perspective on grief and like identity.
Oh my God, so many things. Okay, let's start with baseline. Grieve Leave started at the end of 2021 when I basically was like, something has to change about my life because I feel so overwhelmed with what I believe is grief, but I didn't really have the words for it, for the deaths of my parents, for my divorce, for the pandemic, for everything. And I feel like I don't even want to like exist on this earth anymore. And that sense of overwhelm, plus my mindset of like, I really want to change the world and help people, led me to say, all right, I'm going to take a year off work, which is such a privilege to be able to do. And I am going to learn about grief and loss because I have a feeling that what is making me feel so damn heavy is this grief that I'm like carrying and I don't know what to do with. And I had a hunch that other people in, you know, I'm a millennial, other millennials, other Gen Zs, other folks even younger than that, I felt lost as to what to do with that grief. So I knew other people probably felt lost too. So I set out on a year of saying, all right, I'm going to grieve every single day. I'm going to learn about grief every single day and I'm going to write about it on a blog. And it took off from there. And I was writing about death and non-death related grief. That blog eventually grew into a community of tens of thousands of people worldwide. Which is Grieve Leave Now. I train companies on how to create more grief-informed workplaces because something that
that's beautiful.
It's a big part of our work is you will experience the death of somebody close to you while you're working. Probably. That will probably happen to you. It will probably happen to every single person in the US. And not only is that scary to like think about, but like your boss isn't prepared for that conversation. You are not prepared for that conversation. And for something that is so inevitable, it's offensive that our workplaces are not prepared to actually be these hubs of grief support, which de facto they just kind of are, right? Like you see your colleagues every day, whether it's virtual or in person, you talk to your boss every day. We should be more prepared for grief when it hits our workplaces. So anyway, so we do a lot of work with global companies, small companies, you name it. Everybody wants help thinking about what grief support looks like. So we do that. We have a podcast called Griefed Up. We produce a lot of education-related content about grief and loss. Again, all kinds, death and non-death. On Instagram, on TikTok, through the podcast. I'm working on a book And Grieve Leave continues to grow. We host grief support events we call sad hours, which are just instead of happy hours, which are meant to be like chill spaces that are not religious or not therapy and are just like opportunities to get together with other people who are going through some shit or have, and you can drink or just hang out or I don't know, do a yoga class, whatever it is that we're doing at that sad hour. Grieve Leave is a joy. It's an absolute joy to run this company, and I love every minute of it.
I love that so much. How did you get where you are now? Like all of these ideas, as far as it started as a blog, and then you've really, I mean, you've touched so many people. Where are these ideas coming from?
My brain. My brain is a horrifying place and a very generous, service-oriented place. It is full of darkness and light all mixed in all together. And I don't know, what motivates me in my life is helping people. That is the only thing that has ever motivated me, ever. I was such a public service government girly and education girly before my dad died. And so what I've wrestled with is, what do I want to do on this planet now that everyone's kind of gone that I loved the most? And I think I get to combine my love of helping people and my thirst for learning more about grief and loss through Grieve Leave. I get to do both. And it's just like, my question is always like, what are we looking for right now? Like, can we just talk about grief like it's a normal fucking thing? Like, that's literally my goal. That's just it. It's just like, let's be real about this. And I don't ever want, like, I'm so not interested in doing like, I don't know, clinical therapy groups. Like, I didn't want to be a psychiatrist. I didn't want to go back to school for social work. I had no desire to do grief support in that like clinical way. That's not what I wanted. Grieve Leave is just like a chill space to hold grief as a part of all of us, because it just is with us all the time. It doesn't have to be something that we're like treating, you know?
Yeah. No, it's so beautiful. I think we're very similar, because like I also like am getting my master's in public health, like serving to others, like as you said, and like my work.
That's the Judaism in us. I don't know how to tell you that.
You're probably right.
It's giving tikkun olam. This is like a central tenet to Judaism. Non-Jewish friends who are listening, tikkun olam means to heal the world, and it's just kind of baked in to like what we do in our culture. Is like, it's just a very service oriented, and anyway.
Yeah, no, I think it's, like you said, community is so special. And the one thing we all have in common on this earth is that we're all gonna die, and we're all gonna have someone we love die, and it sucks, and we should talk about it.
Someone's gonna ghost you.
Hate to tell you that.
Sorry. Let's just be prepared for when that happens, and let's not like be deer in the headlights when it happens. And it's we don't have to pretend that's never going to happen. It is going to happen.
Correct. And then you don't have to put the pressure on all your grieving friends. Be like, so what do I do now? Oh, what do I say to this person? What do I say to that person? I'm like, why am I the spokesperson?
We're all everyone's grief friend. It happens. We become the token grief friend. And so I just started putting those things on the internet so other people can get that advice and stop just texting me. Now it's all there.
So what you've built is so beautiful.
Thanks.
And, I mean, you don't need to hear it from me, but like, you should be so proud of yourself. And I think, I don't know, that is like something I aspire to, because I think it's hard at your desk job sometimes, even though I work in healthcare and I help people, like really getting to that place of creating change and impact. And you have done that.
Oh my God. Thank you, friend. That is so incredibly kind. You are doing that with what you are building, right? Like, you have that power to create change. It comes from talking about the things no one else wants to talk about. And you are doing that, my friend. I'm so proud of you.
Such a niche podcast you're starting. I'm like, so niche.
Dude, we fucking need it. Like, we cannot have enough conversations about grief. So I love what you're doing. I've been literally like cheering for you. When I saw that you launched, I was like, hell yeah, Emma, let's go. This is great. I'm so proud of you.
I love you. You're the best. Okay, one final question.
Ready.
What is the loudest lesson they left behind?
Oh my God, I have to think of them both separately. The loudest lesson that they left behind. I think my dad really taught me to. That's where I get like my mindset of service. Like that is what my dad taught me, is always to be thinking about other people and how to support other people through whatever they're going through. And no matter how hard I have it in my life, I still need to recognize the privilege that I do have and use that privilege to support other people. That is a huge lesson my dad taught me. And I think my mom, I think she just taught me to keep going. And I think in our grief, that is kind of all we can do, is just get up the next day and try again. And my mom modeled that by, she kept going for 8 years. She kept trying every single day. And I try to emulate that in what I do with my life. I'm going to keep going.
Oh, yeah, you are. Those are beautiful. You're the best.
You're the best.
Final words or things you'd like to share with anyone?
Just thank you. Thank you for opening up conversations like these, Emma. It is so freaking important that we normalize conversations around grief. And like, I don't mean that in an annoying, jargony way. I mean that in like a, no, let's just talk about things that are hard, because we will all be able to get through life better when we do. You are empowering people to do that. You are facilitating that through these conversations by posting them online. Thank you for being brave enough to do it. It's not easy, my friend, but you are doing it. I'm so proud of you.
No, you're the best. Thank you so much for talking to me today. And for anyone listening, even if you're not a griever, like, thank you. I love you.